this. Okay. Man, I am trying to get used to this whole live stream thing. Let me film it out here. And it's coming along, but it is more complicated than I realized. Oh, and I don't have a way to confirm that my sound is on. And there. Oh, I wish I could confirm. I wish somebody were on here so they could confirm that my sound is on, but there's nobody on here yet. So, okay. If somebody comes on here, if you can tell me if my sound is on, or I guess just a thumbs up. No point in any sort of like telling me if it's off because you won't be able to hear me right now. Okay. Go. My son is 4 years old and he just finally kind of is getting the holidays. So he's still been singing Christmas songs. So if you hear me singing Christmas songs as I'm kind of prepping for class today, it's because we're still in a Christmas song singing mood. Still what we sing at night. Which if there are any types of songs he's just going to put on repeat, Christmas I can do. Christmas songs I can do. I should have called my wife and asked her to pop on just to make sure that let's see here. Okay. So I put on the live stream that we're starting at 8:45, but I meant to put 9 o'clock. I just plan on going live roughly around 8:45 so that the people have time to get on here. But 9 o'clock is the time we're going to begin. Oh man, I've got a good lesson for you guys today. The focus this week is on generating power, which is an interesting concept when you have nothing to hit in order to validate if you're doing it correctly or not. So we'll find out how this goes. I would love it if people that do this maybe comment and let me know, do it like the way I'm teaching, but then if you can get a chance to go hit a bag and see if these drills did it for you. Okay, all right, I've got somebody watching. Can you let me know if you can hear me? You can just give me a thumbs up or just a comment just saying loud and clear or yes. Let me know if you can hear me, okay? So whoever, you hopped off. Oh no, that might mean that you can't hear me. Well, I'll do what I did with the day number 2, where I just narrated over. That worked out well. People enjoyed that, so I'll do that if I have to. Man, I'm seeing myself on these videos with this shirt. This style of material does not, I need to grab my timer. This type of material does not do well with a body that is becoming a little more dad bod every day. And it's making me go, I need to lose some weight. I'm a little bit embarrassed. But oh well. Some of my best fighters had some chub on them. Okay. Man, I kind of just want to start, but I also want to keep it official at 9 o'clock. So, let's see. Oh, come over and see if anybody's commenting. Nope. know what? I might bring in a special guest today, AKA a bag. A bag. Let's see. Here. Just check. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. I don't know if I'll use my boxing gloves, but I might as well have them handy. All right, let's see if we got anybody. All right, 2 people. Can you guys hear me? Can you comment if you can hear me or not? Well, I guess comment if you can hear me, because if you can't hear me, then no point in commenting, right? Just give me a thumbs up, something, just so I know that you can hear me okay. All right, I'm not seeing anything, and I'm about to go ahead and just start teaching. So hopefully my audio is working. All signs point to yes, but if not, then I guess I'll just be doing another voiceover. So let's see. Let me check where my line is. Oh, I saw a comment. Now for the fun of figuring this thing out, how do I look at past comments? Top chat, what happened? Oh, cool, awesome. Thank you, Dopla. Awesome. Hey, are you gonna stay and work out with me? I'm just getting started. Are you gonna do it with me? Awesome, thank you, Dopla. Are you gonna work out? I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I hope you're working out with me today. Okay, so right there. All right, this should allow, see my feet. Okay, so $30 minutes on the clock, and let's get started. All right, let's bow in. So we've been going over how to do the bow all week last week. Let's see if we can do it from start to finish. I'll do one slow with you, and then we'll do it regular speed together. So left hand over right, do a slight bow. We're gonna take an oblique step as we bring our hands to our side. Then cat stance as we bring our hands out. Back of the hands together. 1, 2, and down. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Awesome, guys. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Put something down. It can be anything. Put something down to visualize, to see it. That acts as a sort of a 3-dimensional center line. So in Jeet Kune center line theory, right down the center of my body, that is where if I'm punching, I have the most control. I have the most power if I'm striking right down the center line. There's sort of a saying that whoever controls the center line usually controls the fight. And so I can control it by dominating the center line. That's why in Wing Chun, you'll see them going straight down the middle. So I can control the center line by dominating it, or I can remove myself from the center line and then reestablish it elsewhere. In other words, if my opponent is here and their center line is right straight at that wall, if I get offline and come in, now my center line is at them, their center line is off there. If they were to hit me like this, there's not really any power I have to worry about. So I'm always trying to take angles to get off the center line. Having this down allows me to visualize that, okay? So we'll go for 1 minute, and all I want you to do first is just play with your footwork, okay? Just move around. You can do what I call stalking footwork, where you're just kind of stepping. You can step back, you can step in, okay? Or you can make it a little bit more explosive. So I can push right here. And I'm just using this this glove here, okay? Here, just getting my ankles warmed up, getting my body warmed up. My rear hand should be up, protecting my head. It can be here, it can be here. My front hand can be down, it can be up. It should be constantly moving, all right? There's a rule called the rule of movement. And that says that you should always have at least one thing moving. Your legs, your hands, or your head, okay? So like your head here. And even better is if you can have two moving at all times. So you can have your feet and your head moving here. You can have your hands and your feet. That's more kind of what you see Bruce Lee do, right? Or what else? You can have your hands and your head moving, okay? Here. Okay, now let's start to bring in some of our strikes. So fire that lead straight out. Okay. If you want to throw the rear hand, you can. We're getting it warmed up. Today we're going to be throwing some rear hand shots. So you can warm it up. Even if you don't know how to throw a good cross yet, that's all right. Just stick it out. It's okay. Just play with stuff. If you've seen it, try it. But really focus on what we're practicing this last week. That back fist, okay? Lead round kick. You can pendulum it. Or you could kick, step off here, okay? We've got our side kick. Boom. Here, okay? Good. Round kick. In one of the videos, I went over 3 different ways to throw it. So you can snap it. You can kick upwards. Or you can rotate all the way around, okay? So go ahead and warm up the legs, okay? You can snap right up the middle, right into the groin. Same with the front leg. All right, we're just moving. We'll go for 1 more minute. Good. All right. I'll talk while we're doing this. As I've been doing, there was a girl that I taught, and I worked with her one-on-one for about 6 months, and I would always hold the mitts for her. And then one day, I told her that I wanted her to just freestyle on the bag. And she had the hardest time with it because she had gotten so used to me telling her everything to throw, because that's what you have to do with mitts, that she never learned how to think creatively. And so shadow boxing is one of the best ways to warm up your brain to think creatively. I actually did an entire video about this. And I talk about her as kind of being the start of me realizing that I need to make sure that my guys get some time developing that creative muscle, not just being told what combos to throw or just having the mitts held for them. Wow. Okay, we'll finish for 20 seconds. So last week was footwork. This week is going to be power. Boom. And then next week is going to be tactics. Yeah! All right. Good work, guys. Okay. Let's see. Yes. So last week we played with push shuffle with our lead straight, slide step, and push shuffle with our back fist. We did slide step with our lead round and slide step with our side kick. And we blend them together. We included some evasion. But then on Friday, the 3rd day, we added 2 new footwork elements. So we took our push shuffle that normally gets put together with our punches, and we put it with our kick. So it looked like this, whoom, like that. And we did what I call a pendulum round kick. Technically, this could be called a pendulum round kick because my feet are coming together in a pendulum motion. But when we were growing up, we called the pendulum when your foot would go like that and then back. So if you see like we'll say my front foot is in line with this glove, I go kick and I return to where I started, like that. That's what we refer to as a pendulum kick. So let's review those two new styles of technique. Let's start with the pendulum because we're still getting warmed up, and I feel like that push, shuffle, side kick is a little bit more exhausting. So pendulum round kick. We're just gonna slide up, kick, return to where we started. Let's do 10 of those. 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, good. And you know what? For the next 5, let's do it with the side kick. Okay, so I'm here. 1, 2, ooh, my balance is a little off on that one. 3, that's why we're warming up. We're getting everything going. 4, 5, good. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the push shuffle with the side kick. You can do it with a round kick, but I haven't really practiced it. I'm not that great at it. I've seen people do it, but because my flick is going that way, it doesn't really add power to skip in. And so, you know, what I would say is, I don't want to say it's wrong to do, but I would say I'm not the one to teach it to you, because I always do it with more straight thrusting kicks where my momentum is going into the target. So with this one, if I have a very long stance, it's going to be harder. So I might bring my stance up a little bit. I don't want to step all the way up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go step because they see it coming. But I might shorten my stance. Now, if I'm fighting someone and I'm here and I just go, yeah, they're going to see that coming. But if I'm in like a state of movement, okay, every time I come here, my feet are closer. So this all comes out of movement. However, for the sake of the drill, just start in a shorter stance. All right, here we go. So we're gonna lift our leg up. A lot of times people do this fast and they just end up kind of doing a jump into the kick. It's like a jumping side kick. So I want you to break this up. Let's do 10, we'll do 5 really slow. Bring the leg up, side kick. Okay, let's go back. Okay, bring the leg up, side kick. Good. 3 more. Bring the leg up, side kick. Good. 2 more. Bring the leg up, side kick. Anyone that's going, in JEET KUNE, no, you don't chamber a side kick. Yes, you're right. But I want to make sure you're bringing that leg up first. So we will take away the chamber as we go. Bring the leg up, side kick. All right. So now let's float into one motion. It should almost look like your leg is getting pulled into the target. So 5 of them. Ready? 1, kick. Good. And it's not that there's no chamber, it's just that there's only as much chamber as you need to get the momentum. 2, boom. Good. 3, whey. Good. And even that, there's exceptions to a rule. 4, hi. Good. And 5, hi. Because there is a side kick where you roll the knee, you bring it back and then out like that. And I use that one. Somebody goes to kick me in the leg, I bring my leg out of the way and then counter side kick them. So everything's a rule except when it's not. All right. Now let's get into power striking. How to generate power in our strikes. So if you think of like, you've got your delivery vehicles. That's like your jab, your lead leg round kick. Those are often delivery vehicles. They're how you bridge the gap. They're how you get close to your opponent. They usually don't end a fight in and of themselves, unless of course you kick somebody in the nuts. Sure. Lead straight punch can end the fight on its own, but it's not a good one to count on for that. It should be looked at more like a stiff jab. It's going to interrupt a person, but it's probably not going to end a fight. You're not going to shut the lights off with it. Whereas a cross because you have your whole body, and a hook because of the rotation. So let's talk about how you get a knockout. So there's something referred to as pain compliance, and then just kind of ending the fight. So in knife fighting, they'll talk about if you cut somebody, like you cut their hand and they bleed, they might say, hey, I don't want any trouble. I'm bleeding. That's enough for me. But if you just count on scaring them with their own blood, or pain compliance, where you're doing something that hurts a person, if that's what you're relying on, you might fight somebody that can handle that. I mean, you guys see the UFC. You see people get mounted and the person's dropping elbows on their face, and they still get up and fight with blood going down, broken nose off this way, and they still keep fighting. So if you just go, well, I'll just do this and it'll hurt them so bad that they'll stop. Maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. Whereas, so going back to knife fighting, so you would learn where to cut tendons so that no matter how willing to fight they are, they cannot use that arm because the tendon that connects it, that gives them control, is no longer there. Well, that's the same in martial arts. I can punch somebody in the nose really hard, and yeah, that might end the fight. They won't like it. But they might also be just fine with it. If there's somebody that gets out and fights a lot and likes to stir up trouble, or they're on drugs, who knows? Maybe a punch to the nose won't do a whole lot. So instead, you want to hit areas like, obviously, a finger jab to the eyes. You know, no matter how tough you are, you can't really toughen your eyeball. You know, you can't develop an eyeball six-pack. Or a kick to the groin can actually be, some people can deal with it and keep going. Strike to the throat can be a much more vulnerable area. The chin is the knockout button. You get some of the toughest fighters, and because they're so tough, they have these all-out wars in the UFC and in MMA, and so they get what's called a glass chin. They've just been knocked out so much, it becomes easier to knock them out. No matter how tough they are, they can handle so much abuse, and yet you touch their chin, and they're out. Now, to put somebody out because they get hit in the chin, you either have to hit it really hard, like in a cross, boom, or you need to turn it, okay, like in a hook. So if I hook, I don't have to have as much power because the lever is there. Imagine if I were Jay Leno and I had a chin out here. Somebody hooks me, goosh, like that. Boom, that's lights out. Doesn't matter how tough you are. So we call the chin the off button. That's the off button. You want to turn them off. So my cross and my hook. And then my rear leg round kick. I can show you tons of fights that have been ended by a kick to the leg because there's a nerve that runs right down where the seam of the pants would be, right here. And if you kick that nerve, it's the dead leg. You can actually take your palm and hit yourself there a few times and you'll feel it. You'll find that nerve and it's like, oh shoot. And I call it the love taps. All my people, it's their initiation. I get to give them 2 light love taps with my shin right on that nerve so they understand how important the targeting is of those kicks as to whether or not they do damage. So our big hitters, the things we want to bring power to, are our cross, our hook, and our rear leg round kick. Those are what we're going to rely on to be fight enders. Now, we need to learn how to use our body to generate that power. I don't want to just go out there and like, cross hook, cross hook, cross hook. Okay, there was a study done where they took boxers and they connected them to things that would just see what muscles were firing. And the more experienced the boxer, the more is their lower half of the body. And the more new the boxer, the more is their upper half. Okay, so I want to teach you how to connect the lower half of your body to the upper half. There is a sort of a kinetic chain of energy that sort of like spirals up your body. Now we have ways to generate power through rotation. We have ways to generate power in a more linear method as well, more straightforward. Today, we're going to focus on rotation because our cross and our hook are going to rely on rotational power. Okay, so if you've seen that interview with Bruce Lee where they ask him, what's the difference between a karate punch and a kung fu punch? Bruce Lee compares a kung fu punch to an iron ball on a chain, and you're throwing that ball. You're throwing it. So when you use the term throwing a punch, that is literally what you are doing. You are not punching, you are throwing the punch. So that's what we're going to do. What time, man? 30 minutes, it goes by so fast. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I do have a video where I show some of my favorite drills for developing power. I didn't want to just rehash the video, so I've got different drills for you. So go back and watch that. It shouldn't be too far back in my history. 3 drills for developing power. But here's what we're going to do. Remember when you were a little kid and you would do this? I have a 4-year-old right now, and it's so adorable because he's just finding this kind of stuff. So when you do this, my arms are super relaxed. I'm not doing this with my shoulders. My arms should be able to swing around my body. If they're just doing this, I'm focusing on my arms. Just instead, let your hips swing them. Now watch my feet. I'm just going to turn my foot. I'm going to turn my other foot, just like this. I'm just relaxed, turning my foot. If any of this seems silly, go and look at Soviet boxing drills, because their style is all on punching with relaxed punches that come off the ground. The power comes off the ground, and you'll see some of the silliest drills of them doing stuff like this. But Soviet boxers, I mean, they're, Vasyl Lomachenko, he's a Soviet boxer. There's some really good Soviet boxers. So Dmitry Bivol is a really good one. Usyk, a really good one. So anyway, let's get on to this. So now what I want you to do is with your right hand, I want you to swing, or whichever one is your front hand. For me, it's my right. I'm going to swing my hips a little bit harder so my arm swings up like this, okay? I call this drill the B-slap drill. So I'm just gonna swing my hips, whoa, like this. All right, so swing your hips so the arm flies up in the air. Good, we'll do that 4 more times. 1. We'll do, and 2, and we're keeping our arm very relaxed, okay? 3, 1 more, and 4, good. Now let's do it going the other way. So we'll do it in 3, 2, 1, 1. We'll do 5, okay? We did at least 5 on the other. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So now if you do this and hit, so when I was growing up, we would do that drill and our partner would hold a mitt for us. And then, so when you do that, you go whop, and you'd hit the mitt and their arm would go flying. If you do that, or especially if you hit a bag, something even more solid, make sure there's a bend in your arm, because you'll hyperextend your arm and you don't want to do it. That's a drill. You're not going to fight somebody and go, here I come, right? You're here. I mean, if you do that, probably you'll win by them running away. Afraid to get your blood on them. Who knows what diseases you might have. Okay, so I just want to show you this in connection with something where you can actually see the impact, all right? So, let's see. I'll put on my boxing gloves. All right, let's do this a little bit more over here. So here, if I were doing this on the drill, on the bag, I just go, boom, there, you see that? As opposed to like that, right? Here, watch my feet. It's all on the feet. Way, there. I'll go 2 more. Way. Way, there. I'll do it on this hand now. Okay. Way. All we're learning is how to generate power way on a horizontal line. This is, Bruce Lee talks about when you understand the root, you understand all the branches. When you understand how to generate power in your shots, then it's all the same. Every punch and every kick is essentially the same. We're developing how to generate rotational power with your body. What you put on the end doesn't really matter as much. Okay, so now we're going to look at doing this with our cross and our hook. So the first drill I want you to do, and I want to show you on the bag. So when I throw my cross, watch how I literally throw my cross. I rotate my body just like we're doing here. I'm going to rotate my back leg and send that out. See that? It's relaxed. Send it out. Relax. Boom. Boom. Watch how my body moves first. Okay? On my hook. Watch my legs. It's not my hand. Okay? It's my leg. This is the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch idea. If you know how to use your hip, you don't need a lot of room. I can get my knockout right here if I know how to generate power in the hip. So, think of it kind of like when you're swinging a baseball bat. The home runs don't come from whoever swings the hardest. They come from proper timing and body mechanics. So the ones where people just go nice and smooth, those are the ones that get the home runs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put our cross out there, and I just want you to, just relax it out. I don't even care about like form as far as keep the elbow down, all that. I want you to just feel how your leg rotates and throws your hand out. That's all I care about. I like to keep my hand really relaxed when I'm doing these kinds of drills, okay? I don't even make a fist. Somebody in one of my videos once was like, are those like eye jabs you're throwing? Just because I just keep my hand relaxed. So let's try it. So we're gonna go cross first. Feel that backhand. 1. Good. Now we're gonna do off the front. So for the front, I'm going to load up my body a little bit. Yeah, if I'm fighting somebody, I'm not gonna load up. But maybe I throw my hook after I throw my cross. Or maybe I slip a punch. Or maybe I'm using head movement. So I technically am loading up every time I move this way. Okay? But for right now, I just want you to load this up and then look at my foot. Whoa, there. See, my arm's very relaxed. I'm not punching here. I'm pulling my arm with my hip. My arm stays. If I were to miss and keep going, my body would go around. I would orbit around myself. I wouldn't go out there, okay? So here we go. We're gonna start over. So first, it's so nice and relaxed. Use your feet. Cross, whoa. Hook, boom. Cross, whoa. Hook, whoa. Your feet are the steering wheels. Cross, good. Hook, whoa. Cross, whoa. Hook, whoa. Cross, whoa. Hook, whoa. I'm gonna have to call this a 30-ish minute session because I already know I'm gonna go over. I think I've gone about 40 minutes in every single session so far. So, okay, now we're gonna put those together. So we're gonna go cross, hook. All right, so here we go, ready. So 1, cross, hook. 2, cross, hook. Watch my feet though. Okay, don't do this one, just watch my feet. Bop, bop. See how my feet are moving? All right, 3, wop, wop. 4, wop, wop. Okay, 5, hot, hot. 6, hot, hot. 7, hot, hot. 8, hot, hot. 9, hot, hot. And 10, hot, hot. Good, okay, we're gonna take it one more step further. Cross, hook, cross. Cross, hook, cross. I want to see the feet moving. When I start doing this with people, all of a sudden they start just going, foot stays planted, and maybe they'll rotate on the very last one, or they'll do the opposite. They'll rotate on the first one, and then stay planted on the next 2. I want you doing the Watusi. Whoa, Michael, who is it? Elvis Presley. Give me the Elvis Presley. All right, here we go. So, 1, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 5, 1, 2, 3. 6, 1, 2, 3. 7, 1, 2, 3. 8, 1, 2, 3. 9, 1, 2, 3. And 10, 1, 2, 3. Very nice. Now you notice all my hooks, my elbow comes up. I want to create a straight line of power. I don't want to hook with my elbow down. I want it to be up. You can be thumb up or thumb in, doesn't matter. There are some advantages and disadvantages. Most people, I encourage them to go thumb in if they have a hard time getting that elbow up, because when I go thumb up, it tends to drop my elbow. So I'll throw that out there. Okay, there was something else I wanted to say, but I don't remember. So we're just gonna move along. Rear round kick. So I gave you 3 ways to throw it last week. The most common way when shadow boxing, and I see it taught in Jeet Kune a lot, is to do it more snapping. And that makes sense because a lot of the people that Bruce Lee interacted with were more traditional karate style fighters, and snapping round kicks are very common. And they're really good, they're very effective. But there's also another way to do it. There's a concept my instructor called the water and the whip. And some techniques can be thrown like whips, and some techniques can be thrown like a tidal wave of water crashing through. And for kind of like a fight ender, that's the way I want us to do it. And since we're focusing on rotational power right now, I want you to feel the rotation of this style of a kick. So a lot of times it's referred to as a Thai kick, because the Thais are very well known for it. But as my instructor used to say, nobody owns human movement. The whole concept of Jeet Kune is to get rid of labels, get rid of names, and to look at fighting in its pure essence and say, what is the most effective way to use my body? And then, so as soon as you go, well, that's a Thai kick, and we don't do Thai kicks, we do Jeet Kune kicks. That's the moment you filter and say, I'm not looking at something because it doesn't fit my filter, okay? We want to look at body mechanics. So when I throw this round kick, I want to roll my hip over. My leg acts as a baseball bat. I essentially lock my leg. I compare it to like whereas a snapping round kick is like your cross, boom, snaps. A more Thai style round kick where I rotate through is more like a hook punch. I lock my arm in place and my body rotates, and that's what generates the power. Now, if you get dizzy, then I want you to just throw kick, stop here, and then go back. But you'll really feel the rotation if you spin all the way around. I want you to try and lock your leg like this, just like you lock your hook. So here we go. We're gonna go 1, 1, just like that, okay? 2, 1, good. 3, way, good. 4, way, good. 5, way, good. All right, well, I'm starting to get dizzy. Man, I don't know if anybody out there has a kid. Now that I have a kid, I'm in my 40s. When I take my son to the playground, he wants to get on the swings. I'm amazed at how dizzy and sick it makes me now. I'm like, oh, that's a sign of my aging body. I feel like I'm gonna puke just from swinging. Okay. If you see me look out the window, by the way, I do have a private lesson with one of our coaches. And so I'm just kind of keep poking my eyes to see when she gets here. But anyway, let's do 5 more. 1, way. 2, way. 3, way, here. Let's grab 2 more. 4, boom. And 5, way. Good. Okay, awesome. All right, so we've done cross, we've done hook, and we've done rear leg round kick. Now, let's put these into what I call counts, okay? So count is a shorthand way of saying combination. So I could say, give me a 3-punch combination or a 3-hit combination, 3-strike combination, or I can just say 3 count. 3 count is shorter, so if we're working the mitts, we're not spending half the time with me trying to explain what I want you to do. I can just say 3 count, and I show you the correct mitt, and you know what I'm looking for. So these are the first 2 3 counts that I like to teach. The first one is jab cross, and then we're going to take a small step as we fire our lead round kick. Boom, okay? If I step, that's going to help me get more power in that round kick. And because I'm in punching range, I need to open some distance anyway. So rather than stepping back and taking power away, I step in the direction of my kick. So that it's almost like if you imagine like Happy Gilmore, how he would come running through with the golf club. Boom. That's essentially what you're doing. You're running through with that kick. So if I'm out here and I'm closing the distance, boom, I go forward. But if I'm opening the distance, I step sideways, okay? So here we go. So first 3 count, the jab 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Now that could be a lead straight punch. So if you want to throw it as a vertical fist, let's do it that way. 2, 1, 2, step, 3, okay? 3, 1, 2, step, 3. I'm gonna face this way for the last 2. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Let's learn another 3 count. So now we're going to go cross, hook, and then throw that rear round kick. And if you can spin around and do it, if not, just kick and drop back. Or if you're just like, I hate all this, I just want to do snapping kicks. Do your snapping kick. I don't care. A snap kick to the head, boom, can knock someone out easily. A snap kick with the toe of the shoe into the solar plexus or the liver will end a fight very fast as well. Or into the inside of the thigh, or even that nerve, but especially inside of the thigh. Ooh, big owie. So, I don't care, you do it however you want to do it. I ain't your mom. Okay, so we're gonna go cross, hook, rear kick. All right, there's 1. Let's do it, we'll start now in case you were just watching me there. So 1, cross, hook, rear kick. All right, 2, cross, hook, rear kick. Oh, I remember what I wanted to tell you. I'll tell you after this. I'm gonna face this way, let's do 3 more. 3, cross, hook, rear kick, okay? 4, cross, hook, rear kick. 5, cross, hook, rear kick. Okay, what I was gonna tell you is this drill where we're going cross, hook, and we're rotating. I don't always have to rotate. Think of these as like dials. If I want to get the knockout, I rotate all the way. But it's rare that every single punch is trying to knock the person out. A lot of times, so in Jeet Kune Do, it's referred to as a short or a long punch. So a short punch could be like, this would be a cross hook, short, cross hook, very fast. Long would be cross hook, like that, okay? So they're like dials. A lot of times I go short, long. So if I go cross hook, I don't rotate my foot over on the cross because I want this hook to fire quick. So that way I can, boom, get my knockout shot there. Vice versa, if I'm throwing a hook cross, I probably won't rotate on this because I'm not trying to land with absolute power. I'm trying to set up for that cross. And that one I'll go short, long, there, okay? So they're dials. What I have noticed though, is people that don't learn to rotate their feet over never have the same amount of power. They never learn how to generate it from the hips. They stick with arm punches. So learn it this way. You don't always have to do it that way, but it helps connect. So I'm a big fan of exaggerate motions. Get the full 100% of the punch and the kick, and then turn the dial as much as you need it for. Okay, there. Now, I want to finish with one more drill. I'm going to grab my mitt again. I'll be right back. Okay. Skadoosh! All right. So now we're going to come in and then we're going to exit. And we're just going to stick with punch combos for this. So on Friday, we played with pivoting out. After I land my shots, I don't want to just stay there because that's when they're going to return fire on me. And that is when I am going to be at my weakest because I just did a miniature sprint. Whenever you fire a combo, it's like, you're a little bit exhausted. So you're going to be slowest. You're probably going to be more likely to have your hands a little bit down. So I want to get out of dodge. I want to hit and get out. So we're going to exit either to the right or to the left after we fire our combination. Now, usually if I hit with the right, I go to my right. If I hit with the left, I go to my left. Partly because my leg is already lighter, so it's more natural. Boom. and partly because I'm jamming the gun. If my hand is here, they have to block it. I'm occupying that side of their arms right now. So it's safer for me to go that way. Whereas if I go this way, the cross is still available. If I throw my cross and they block it, now I have an exit out here, unless they're really fast and there. So I do have to be mindful that it doesn't get me a get out of jail free card, but generally, and then it's not a hard, fast rule. You don't want anything to be 100% predictable, but that's the rule we're going to kind of follow. So we're going to come in with our jab. That could be lead straight, boom, cross, hook. Now, because we hit on this side, we're going to go this way. I like to combine it with a little bit of a slip. Whoop, whop, slip out, okay? So let's do that 5 times. Here we go. Ha, 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 1, 2. Straight, cross, hook, 1, 2. So 3 more times. Straight, cross, hook, 1, 2. Straight, cross, hook, 1, 2. One more time. Straight, cross, hook, 1, 2. Good. Okay, now let's go this way. So we're going to go straight, hook, so off the same arm, 1, 2, cross, and I drag. All right, here we go, 5 of them, ready. Straight, hook, cross, drag. Straight, hook, cross, drag. 3 more. Straight, hook, cross, drag. Straight, hook, cross, drag. And 1 more for me. Here we go. Straight, hook, cross, drag. Awesome, guys. Okay. That's everything. Oh, no. Actually, I do have 1 more drill for you. We're going so far over, but you know what? We're going to keep going over. See, now I'm getting comfortable with going over. Now it'll be later and later. Okay, we're going to do this for 1 minute. We'll do it for maybe 2 minutes. So we used to call these cherry pickers. You would reach up and grab, and you'd march your feet. And you might be going, I thought this is about power. Why are we doing this? This doesn't give me any power. It actually does. We're learning how to coordinate our drop step. So when I punch, boom, this foot and this hand, coordinate together. 1, 2. See, southpaw? 1, 2. Okay? I need to know how to coordinate my hands and my feet. So they call this a drop step when that foot comes down. And it's a vital part of any of our punches where we are moving in and even moving out. Sometimes a cross can be thrown in range, but the person will step out like this, partly to get that drop power. So to coordinate that, we're just going to fire our jab cross just like this. We're just extending. We call them cherry pickers because our coach made us go up in the air like this. You're picking cherries, okay? So, but here, make them straight. The other reason I like this is because I want you to notice where your hands go. If they're down here, if you're going like this, I want you right here. This is a great way to develop. I realize I'm starting to go into more of a shuffle there. I want it running, okay, like this. All right, so we're just going here. But this teaches me to bring my hands right back. Imagine you got a resistance band. Keep going while I'm talking. Imagine you got a resistance band around your eyes. And every time you punch, your hand pulls right back to here. So I'm not doing this, okay? I was leaving my head wide open. It's here. Boom, boom, boom. Just like this, all right? So this teaches you that drop step for power, coordinating the legs. It teaches you to keep your hands up. Good. What else? I want to say, yeah, drop power. Oh, footwork when striking. Yeah, kind of the same thing. How to, right? This teaches me, keep going while I'm talking, how to move, right? See, this same drill could be this. Bah, bah, bah. Okay? I can be moving while I'm firing. So I'm coordinating my feet and my hands. Right? And I'm getting a good little shoulder workout. Okay? Right back to your eyes. Make sure you're not going here. Okay? 30 seconds. I'll try not to breathe so heavy. That's probably loud on the microphone. That's a long 30 seconds. When you're trying to hold your breath anyway. Hi, kadoosh. Awesome, guys. Thank you for joining me. I had a lot of fun. I went way over this time. Now that I'm just feeling like it is just okay for me to go willy-nilly as long as I want, I'm going to try and keep it not to more than 10 minutes over. Anyway, hope you had fun. Oh, my private lesson is just getting here anyway. Perfect timing. Skadoosh! All right, how do I end this?